Conversation I had with ChatGPT about dragon fruit pollination yesterday. You might find it interesting. When you pollinate a flower with pollen, does only one pollen grain actually pollinate the flower? ChatGPT said, when you pollinate a flower, you're usually applying many pollen grains at once, but only one pollen grain is actually needed to fertilize a single ovule. Here's how it works. Each pollen grain contains the sperm cells. When a pollen grain lands on a compatible stigma, it germinates and grows a pollen tube down through the style toward the ovary. Only one pollen tube will reach and fertilize a given ovule, and that happens from a single pollen grain. Other pollen grains may germinate too, but they'll either fertilize other ovules in flowers with multiple ovules, like tomatoes or dragon fruit, or not succeed at all. So, if your flower has only one ovule, for example, some small flowers, yes, only one pollen grain is needed to accomplish fertilization. If it has multiple ovules, one pollen grain is needed per ovule, which is why growers often apply lots of pollen. If you'd like, I can explain how this plays out specifically in dragon fruit pollination, since that's where it gets a little more interesting with multiple ovules. You said, yes, explain. ChatGPT said, in dragon fruit Hylocereus spp, the pollination story is a bit busier because the flower isn't fertilizing just one seed, it's aiming to make hundreds to thousands in a single fruit. 1. Lots of ovules equals lots of pollen. Inside the ovary of a dragon fruit flower are many ovules, each one will become a seed if fertilized. One pollen grain fertilizes one ovule. That means to get a fully seeded, well-shaped fruit, the stigma needs hundreds or even thousands of viable pollen grains. 2. Pollen germination and tube growth. When you dust pollen onto the stigma, many grains stick to the sticky surface. Each viable grain germinates and sends a pollen tube down the style toward the ovary. The tube carries the sperm cells. One fuses with the ovule to form the embryo, the other helps form the endosperm food for the seed. 3. Why you apply so much pollen? In hand pollination, you don't just touch one pollen grain, you coat the stigma heavily to maximize the number of grains that will A. Germinate, B. Grow quickly enough to reach the ovules. Some pollen grains won't be viable, some will grow too slowly, and some will land on spots on the stigma where conditions aren't ideal. That's why you over-apply. 4. Impact on fruit shape and size. If only part of the ovules are fertilized, the fruit may develop misshapen sides, be smaller, have fewer seeds and less flesh development. Fully pollinated flowers give the largest, best-shaped fruit. Key takeaway. In dragon fruit, you're not relying on just one pollen grain like with a single seed fruit. You're orchestrating a mass event where hundreds or thousands of pollen grains are needed so every ovule gets its turn. If you want, I can make you a simple diagram showing the journey from pollen grain gives pollen tube gives ovule gives seed in a dragon fruit flower. That might make it clearer. You said, does a mix of pollen affect the fruit production? ChatGPT said, yes, in dragon fruit, a mix of pollen from different flowers or even different varieties can absolutely affect fruit production and, in some cases, dramatically improve it. 1. Genetic compatibility. Many dragon fruit varieties are self-sterile or partially self-fertile. If you use only pollen from the same flower or same plant, fertilization might be incomplete. You may get smaller fruit, fewer seeds, or no fruit at all. When you mix pollen from different compatible varieties, you improve the odds that every ovule will be fertilized. 2. Hybrid vigor and pollen performance. Different varieties produce pollen that varies in viability percentage of grains that can germinate and tube growth speed. Mixing pollen sources increases the pool of strong, fast-growing pollen tubes, meaning more ovules get fertilized before the flower closes. This can lead to more seeds, larger fruit, better shape and flesh development. 3. Cross-pollination effects on fruit. For most fruits, including dragon fruit, the flesh develops from the ovary tissue of the mother plant, not from the genetic makeup of the pollen donor. That means mixing pollen won't change the taste or color of this year's fruit. Those traits are fixed by the mother plant's genetics. However, the seeds inside will carry the genetic mix, so if you plant them, you'll get hybrids. For practical takeaway for growers, for maximum yield and shape, use fresh pollen from more than one compatible variety. Apply liberally and cover the stigma well. Pollinate early in the night within an hour or two of the flower opening for best germination rates. You said, if you use a mix of pollen, will each seed produce a different plant within one fruit? ChatGPT said, yes, in dragon fruit, if you pollinate with a mix of pollen from different varieties, the seeds inside one single fruit can each have different fathers, so they can grow into completely different plants. Here's why. 1. Multiple ovules, multiple fathers. A dragon fruit ovary has hundreds to thousands of ovules. Each ovule is fertilized by only one pollen grain. If your pollen mix has grains from variety A, variety B, and variety C, then some ovules may be fertilized by A's pollen, others by B's pollen, others by C's pollen. 2. Mother is always the same, no matter the pollen source. The mother plant provides the fruit flesh and half the seed's genetics. The other half of the seed's DNA comes from whichever pollen grain fertilized it. 3. Seeds become a genetic grab bag. If you plant seeds from that fruit, some seedlings will be crosses between the mother and variety A. Others will be mother times variety B. Others will be mother times variety C. Even among seedlings with the same parents, natural genetic variation means they may grow and fruit differently. 4. This is common in plant breeding. Plant breeders often use mixed pollen deliberately to save time. They later grow out the seeds and select the best performing hybrids. In dragon fruit, though, most commercial growers don't grow from seed, they clone cuttings to keep traits consistent. You said, I've noticed that cross-pollinating seems to produce larger fruits. ChatGPT said, that makes perfect sense. In dragon fruit, successful cross-pollination often produces noticeably larger, better-shaped fruits compared to self-pollination. Here's why. 1. More complete fertilization. The size and shape of the fruit is tied to how many ovules get fertilized. Incomplete fertilization means fewer seeds, which means less hormonal signaling for the ovary to fully expand, resulting in smaller or misshapen fruit. Cross-pollination tends to use more vigorous pollen, germinate faster, fertilize more ovules before the stigma stops accepting pollen. 2. Pollen vigor and growth speed. Pollen from a different, compatible variety often has higher viability, more grains can germinate, faster pollen tube growth. Faster pollen tubes equals more ovules fertilized in the short time window the flower is receptive. 3. Stronger hormonal response. Each developing seed sends auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinins into the fruit tissue. These plant hormones signal the ovary to grow larger and develop more flesh. More seeds equals stronger hormone production equals bigger fruit. 4. Practical grower takeaways. If you want maximum fruit size, use pollen from a different variety known to be highly compatible with your main plant. Apply a heavy coating of fresh pollen soon after the flower opens at night. If possible, do a second light application and later to catch any remaining receptive stigma areas.
Dragon fruit benefit. Dragon fruit, also known as pitaya, offers several health benefits thanks to its rich nutrient profile. Here are some of the key benefits. 1. High in antioxidants, contains vitamin C, betalains, and carotenoids, which help neutralize free radicals and reduce inflammation, potentially lowering the risk of chronic diseases. 2. Good source of fiber, supports digestive health by promoting regular bowel movements and can help regulate blood sugar levels. 3. Boosts immune system. The vitamin C and other antioxidants strengthen the immune system and help the body fight infections. 4. Promotes healthy gut, contains prebiotics that feed beneficial gut bacteria, which can improve digestion and overall gut health. 5. Supports heart health. The seeds are rich in omega-3 and omega-9 fatty acids, which may help lower bad cholesterol and support cardiovascular health. 6. Low in calories and nutrient-dense, low-calorie snack that can be helpful for weight management. 7. Hydrating has a high water content, which contributes to hydration. 8. May improve skin health. The antioxidants and vitamin C may help protect the skin from damage and contribute to a healthier complexion.